Hello, PBC family. This Sunday, we are starting a new sermon series called Salt and Light. And the title comes from Matthew 5, verses 13 to 16. And in this series, we're going to be looking at three key areas in our world right now, where as Christians, we can exert an influence for God's kingdom and his purposes. Matthew 5, 13 to 16 says, "You are the salt of the earth, but if the salt loses its saltiness, how can it be made salty again? It is no longer good for anything except to be thrown out and trampled underfoot. You are the light of the world. A town built on a hill cannot be hidden. Neither do people light a lamp and put it under a bowl. Instead, they put it on its stand and give light to everyone in the house. In the same way, let your light shine before others, that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven." In Jesus' time, salt was a necessity for life. Salt would bring flavor to food. It was used to purify things, but mainly it was used as a preservative to keep something from decaying. We all know that light is something that dispels darkness. It's designed to shine and to be seen. Both of these images help us to see that Christians are to be distinct from those who are not believers. Then this is not to be in a weird way, but in a way that does stand out, in a way that is seen, that is significant, and that brings glory to God. The church that we attended in Minnesota, it was located near the university in the town, and it had this great ministry to international students. And over the years, a number of international students had said to the pastor, before I came here, when I was getting ready, people who had been to America before as international students, they told me something. They said, when you get to America, look for the Christians because they will help you. And then they would often add, and people said, don't just look for the people who say they are Christians. Look for the ones who are the real Christians. What these people had learned, and these were people who came from countries with few Christians, maybe had never met a Christian, was that there was a difference with true Christians. As believers, we are called to be distinct from those who do not believe. And one of the great tragedies is how often as believers we'll conform to the actions and the thinking and the values of our culture and our world instead of being salt and light and taking on the values and the thinking of Jesus. But the good news is that God can work through us to influence our world. But to do that, we must be salt and light. And we do this best when our values, when our words, when our actions are like Jesus's. It is as we grow to be like Christ that our light shines brightest and that we are at our saltiest. In this series, we're going to be starting to look at the different ways that we can be salt and light. And like I said, we're going to be looking at three different areas. And so one of the areas we're going to talk about is being people of hope. Another week, we're going to talk about being salt and light in the area of justice in our world right now. And on Sunday, we're going to start it all off by talking about the area of politics and how we can be salt and light and an influence for Christ and his kingdom there. I hope that you'll join us on Sundays, 9 a.m. We'll have the live stream going online, but we'll also be meeting in person at 9 and 10:30. And so I will see you then. Have a great week.